a very good question, which is, okay, look, what is the Great Investments Program? Is it share tipping? Is it a course? Well, it's definitely not share tipping. What it is I want you to be your own fund manager. We're not managing your money for you. We want you to save money by you being your own fund manager. We have now given access to people of our analysis of all 8,000 UK, US stocks listed. And then we've narrowed that, what we call our approved list, down to the ones we particularly like. And you can see, because you can then search all the stocks that you might have heard of, and you'll see what our view on those is. Everything from our valuation perspective, growth, income, momentum, CROCI, which is cash flow used by Goldman Sachs, our Sortino ratios, the alpha, the Altmans, the volatility. We explain all of this to people, and then we narrow all those 8,000 down based on these to see which ones show the most greens. Okay, and I don't want to show those too much in case people steal some of our ideas, but we go beyond that. We break that down to the Dow as well and how they stand, as well as the UK markets. We break that down for the NASDAQ in case you're particularly looking at NASDAQ stocks. We examine exchange traded funds because some people want to have an analysis of that. Now, this is previously only been open to our hedge fund clients, this approved list. We started making it available to Great Investment Program people as well as a separate part of it included, because we appreciate that you're making a significant investment into the Great Investments Program. So we've made this accessible for a limited time for you to have this, and those who have it will then have it for life. Okay, we've also looked through what some of the big guru names own, what percentage is in their stocks of various things, and what might be worth examining based upon best analyst consensus, insider signals, bloggers. We're not tipping individual stocks. What we're then doing is saying, right, these are a bunch of names and ideas we've got from people, for instance, Brian Schwartz of Oppenheimer, who's been generating 60% on average for the last couple of years, 36% on average from Brent of Piper Sandler here, Brent Bracelin's stock coverage. Okay, fine. We'll put those into our approved list and see which are then the best of the best based on valuation, growth, income. So you can really narrow down the list. It's not for us to say to you, buy this, buy that out of some journalistic comment. No, if we think go daddy because this analyst mentioned it, you can then look at it along with us on our approved list and say, oh, actually, yes, it's green lighted on valuation, on growth, on income, on momentum. So you've got the confidence to be able to say, right, I see why I should have this. And if somebody were to ask you, you'd be able to say, pretty much like a financial expert, well, it's Sortino ratio, and we explain what that is. It's alpha, we explain what that is sufficient for you to consider buying it. We don't just buy things because other people have got them. You'll be making the decisions based on the approved list, which goes through all the data of what's important. Then the course material teaches you why asset allocation is important, what return targets we should be aiming for. And speaking of which, so we don't just give you names, but we allow you to have the full-blown education that you can set a financial goal. You're your own wealth manager, as opposed to having to pay somebody to mess it up for you. Okay, and I'll give you this example here. Let's say you plan to invest over 10 years, and with my help and the education I provide, you hit 20% per annum. All right, that's modest because the market's going to generate some of that anyway. With US stocks, I'd expect to get 40%. So 20% with UK, 40% with US stocks. Let's say you've got 100K and you plan to add 1.5K per month. Well, over those 10 years, you'd have £1 million. How do we know this? Simple mathematics. You'd start with 100, you've added some total contributions. At 20% per annum, you get to $1 million. That's my goal. Turn every 100 into $1 million, or put another way, if you're starting with a modest amount of 10K and you're adding 500 a month or 6K a year, then with the same 20% over a 15-year period, you start with smaller amounts, so it will take longer time, you'll end up with 600,000. You start off with 10, you turn it to 600,000. That's my ambition for my son. He's 2 years old, so he's at the bottom end over here in a tax-free account. Okay, so that's part of what we do as well. But it goes beyond that. We also show you how to mitigate risk, why you should be holding the number of stocks you should be holding based on your risk profile, how you work out your risk profile, and if you're particularly concerned markets might fall, how you pound cost average. Okay, if you're worried that the markets might fall, because we're going for quality companies, our company should fall less, rebound more, as has been proven historically in any event, but also because we're going for quality companies. If the market rises, they should be the ones which have a flight to safety and therefore rise more. So we do all of that. But maybe that's not enough. Maybe you say to me, Alpesh, that's not enough. I want to be an expert. I don't just want you to spoon feed me for your list of 8,000. I want to know what else is available. Well, of course, there's access to me, direct calls. We've got a course that I created personally, which is spun out of my hedge fund. Why would a hedge fund manager do all of this? Well, having for 20 years written books on investing, I felt the next stage was to spin this technology out, this whole program and offering out to the public, and then eventually throw it on the stock market. And that's why we're taking more people on in groups, in batches of 10 at a time, who I'll mentor for life. There's no ongoing cost, no monthly charges, nothing like that. And that's part of the reason why I created the whole course. It is not just a share tipping service, which is rubbish because those are journalists who give those. This is a hedge fund manager who's helping you learn and educate how to pick stocks, and also giving you the answers and the education behind it. So not just saying, get this, then you have to rely on them. If you want, you've got the education behind it and the full explanations as to why certain things are important, why certain valuation metrics or growth or croaky. And others might say, I'm too busy for all of that, Alpesh. I'm a brain surgeon. I'm a rocket scientist. Just give me the answers. Well, on the approved list, which I just showed you, you would have all 8,000 stocks and you'd have the green lights across all of them. And did you want to know more about, say, cash flow and why it's important? The education's there on the course materials you can see here at the same time. And you've got one-to-one calls with me when you want them and WhatsApp access to me. So we've got Zoom calls one-to-one. Yes, one-to-one. Can you believe it? And no ongoing subscription charges. Why not? Well, because you're the fund manager. You've got to save money. And there's no point you trying to save money if each month you're going to be paying fees or each week and so on. And like I said, you might say, I don't want to be a fund manager, Alpesh. Fine. In our 1 hour call, and don't forget the 7-day money back guarantee, and you'll have that first call where we analyze your portfolio in that first 7 days anyway, and you'll see the value of all of this, so you'll not be taking any risk. In that time, you'll see how we analyze the portfolio and give you the answers. Because some students, they say, oh, Alpesh, just give me the answers. Show me the quick rush way. Others say, no. I want to know not just the tip of the iceberg and the names, but we also want to know how the education came to those answers. So you've got all of this within there. And this is updated pretty much every day, because the markets change every day, and you've got access to me every day as well. We think this is unique. We think it's the best investment education in the world. The reason I call it Great Investments Program is not because we're just looking for great investments, because we think it is a great program, because it is a program which gives you all of this. Okay, and we think it's going to be $1 billion company because it's got education, technology, it's got investments, it's got returns on your investments, all the things you look for when you're deciding whether or not to actually have a mentor, somebody to support your decision making, whether you're looking at your pension or whether you're looking as a 20-something who wants to plan for the future. Either way, people need mentors. They need that secure counsel. And because there's no monthly, weekly, daily fees, you don't have that problem of the money always depleting, as it does with fund managers and as it does with financial advisors. So that, in a nutshell, is what it is. Thank you.